All right, all right, all right. What is going on, chat? Hope you're doing well. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Which camera? This one. Hello, chat. What's going on? I shaved my head. It's cold, though, so I'm going to keep my hood on. It's like in the 50s, like low 50s right now. Oh, boy. How's it going, chat? I hope everyone's doing well. Hold on, let me look like a jackass. Let me get it sitting right. What's going on? What's going on? I hope everyone's doing well. I still look like a jackass. That's right. I can't fix it. It just comes naturally for me. So, talking to our friend Tiki. I don't want to officially say it, but we may perchance be doing like a trade or something. Anyways, we may get into the Fallout game, Wasteland Warfare, potentially. So we're gonna take a look at some because we've been looking at different games to potentially film here on the channel, and I've been a big fan of Fallout for a while. So we'll just take a look at the rules, because the rules are completely free, and we're just gonna kind of skim through and check out the game itself, Wasteland Warfare, and see what it's about. And we could take a look at some of the minis and stuff like that, because I haven't wrapped my head around it, how it works. So, crawl out to the Fallout. I should have done that with it's too bad I don't have a Cajun accent. I should have done that with a Cajun accent. What's going on, Cosmic? You got a haircut too? Very nice, very nice. I saw you were getting some painting done in the Discord and all that. Looking good as usual. You liked Wasteland Warfare? You run NCR? It could be, I think it could be a fun narrative thing for the channel. You know what I mean? Do like cool videos. So I haven't really checked it out myself. And we got Squig Herder Sean coming in with the 3 months. Hello, D-Gens. Well, hello. Appreciate you, brother. Let's switch over to some music more appropriate. Give me 1 sec here. If you guys are wondering what I've been doing, we're waiting for, I gotta edit this freaking conflict video. We got a long 6-turn game that I gotta get going here. Let's switch over to some Fallout 3 music. I'll show you real quick what I've been up to. Whoa! And Sean coming in with the 5 gifted memberships, going out to Dead End Satellite, Bob's your uncle. Love that name. Jordan Bruno, Full Metal Owl, another great name, and Ask Holia. Thank you, man. Much appreciated. You didn't have to do that. Way too kind. Way too kind. I'll show you guys what I've been up to, all right? I don't have my nice camera set up, but check this out. It's got, well over hundreds. Or 100, so it's got to be 100 and something. These are roosterfish flies that guys are taking down to Baja, Mexico, going to catch giant mahi-mahi and giant roosterfish and things like that. So this is what I've been spending all my time doing. I make these, I start out with a bare hook, and I add feathers and bucktail and synthetic materials, cut it, put the eyes on it, glue the heads. So all these I did by hand, obviously. So this is what I've been doing, because these guys go down to Mexico every year, and this is what I do for a living, is tie flies. But this is probably peak fly tying for me nowadays. I used to do a lot of fly tying in the fall for the local fishing here around New York, but now I tie for this big group of guys that heads down to Mexico to a lodge every year. So that's why I've been super busy. I haven't been having a video every week. So what do you call it? But I'm going to be done soon. The guy's going on Tuesday. So I'm doing as much tying as I can this weekend. That's why we're not doing any hobby stuff. We're just kind of chatting. And he's picking it up. Then another group of guys is going to go or whatever. So I'm just kind of wrapping everything up and getting it all out of the way, because I have to. And we'll get back to diving. I told Rev, probably next week we're going to start recording every weekend again. So he sent me a photo. He got his character painted up for the Toten Corps platoon, the Toten Horde or whatever. So, yeah, it's a cool, you know, it's a really nice lodge that's owned by this one woman, and she has like a whole bunch of guides. They have a bunch of pangas, which are these boats that they have in Mexico, you know, these like boats that they take out from the beach, and they go and they fish for rooster fish. Real quick, I'll show you guys a photo. Here, check this out. This is a screenshot, but here we go. This is a customer of mine. Oh, customer of mine, Don. And this was one of the big mahi-mahi that he caught. And you could see one of those roosterfish flies that we tied for him. But this is a mahi-mahi. This is like a... they catch these as well, but this is a big one, dude. Like, you don't see them this size up in the north here. Up off... even if you go offshore. I guess maybe if you go offshore off New York, like you go 60, 70 miles where there's tuna, you might. But this is like you got to go down to Mexico for this. But the roosterfish, that's where that's the really cool thing. So anyways, this is what I've been doing. What I've been up to is tying these flies. So I'll be back to having all the time in the world to spend on YouTube here soon. And get back to some hobby stuff as well. So... that's a nice mahi. That's a nice bull mahi. That makes some really good fish tacos, by the way. They call it dolphin as well. So dolphin or mahi-mahi. You may have had it before at a restaurant or something. And they fight like hell. But the roosterfish... let's see. I'll show you guys a photo real quick. Baja giant rooster fish. One of my customers was about 2 pounds away from catching, or a pound away from catching the new world record on the fly. Something like this, essentially. But this is what these fish are. Look how big that thing is. This is what they're catching over there on our flies. These giant rooster fish. And I'm telling you, dude, they get massive. Like, the one guy showed me a photo. I don't know where the photo is, but he fought it for 3 hours. It was genuinely something like this big. This is like around like 100 pounds or something, getting close to 100 pounds. And they have these giant fins that come off the back that stick up out of the water when they're hunting. The like fins are down, and then when they go into hunting mode, the fins go up. That's why they call them rooster fish. These things, though, are crazy. I haven't fished for them before, but this on a fly rod, a giant one, this is like the fish of a lifetime sort of thing, you know? So these guys are going down there slamming them, and that's why I'm tying the flies for them. And they said, they were like, Mike, we want your flies. I'm like, all right, well, I love to hear that. So anyways, enough of that. Who cares about 100-pound roosterfish? God, I would love to go to Baja on Tuesday, but we got to tie some flies, and we got to edit some battle reports as well. So let's take a look at, with the fitting music, Fallout Wasteland Warfare. Also, what's going on, Gabriel? Hope you're doing well, dude. Painting some Mythic Earth Chapoya models. Have you looked into it? Pretty sick and historically accurate. No, I haven't. Mythic Earth. Hold on. I've seen, I think, Warlord or somebody, maybe War Games Atlantic has like a historically accurate game where there's like Mayans and stuff like that. What's it called? Mythic Earth? Let's take a look real quick, because today we're just kind of chatting. Mythic Earth game. Is it Mythic Americas? The Warlord game? Oh, no, that's different. Mythic Earth. There's Mythicos. Is that the right one? Mythicos? And there's also a newest version of Mythic Earth, which is Mythic Americas. So is it Mythic Americas or Mythic Earth? It's not popping up on Warlord. What happens if we search here? Here, I'll just show you guys. There's Mythicos. Yeah, which is Mythic Earth. This is probably the original one, right? And then there's the Mythic Americas, which is the newer version. So what if we go to Warlord? Yeah, they have the Mythic Americas stuff. Yeah, so this is what I saw. Yeah, there's like Aztecs. You could have like Aztecs or Mayans or like Native Americans. Like Mohawk. There's Aztecs. There's the Incas. So it's like a South American or Central America. Mayans. It could definitely be cool. We haven't checked it out. Oh, and they do have like mythological stuff. They have Sasquatches. Oh, that's the nations. Sasquatches. Oh, no, it is. Oh, so they do have like Seneca arches. So they do have like North American. Yeah, I haven't checked it out. It does look pretty cool, though. These guys are riding giant birds. The Incas are riding big condors, it looks like. That's pretty cool. Yeah, interesting. What do the Aztecs get? There's a dude holding a guy's head, which is pretty accurate, right? Big ogres with gold skulls. Oh, they have like undead. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't checked it out before. $16 for the rules. So Warlord does make it. That's something that's interesting. Looks pretty cool. Mythic Art is the original. Gotcha. Guided fishing money. I get barely enough cash to fish for carp in the dirty bayou down in the hood. Yeah, well, look, if you're fishing for carp, all right, you just need some corn or even just a little jig, and you just cover it in vanilla extract. I could never catch a carp on the fly until my buddy, South Fork Salt, was like, listen, we're breaking out the secret sauce. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, we're going to use the vanilla extract. I'm like, what are you talking about? We dipped our flies in vanilla extract. We were slamming carp one after another. That's a little secret from me to you. Satisfies my fantasy itch while conflict is your sci-fi. Yeah. Honestly, we might check out Old World. Rev really wants to play Old World. He keeps talking about it nonstop. I kind of was like, hey, what about Turnip 28? Because we'll have like regiments and it's free and I get to have guys with carrots. He was like, all right, cool. But I bet you he still wants to play Old World and all that, which I was like, it might be a lot to get into, you know what I mean? All right, so these are the free rules for Wasteland Warfare, which is the Fallout miniatures, either solo or player versus player or co-op. Oh wait, game from Modiphius Entertainment in conjunction with Bethesda. Now the only now some of you folks brought it up, and it did look pretty cool, and we were talking about how we could 3D print it, right? But I think Tiki potentially wants us to like 3D print a bunch of cool stuff for conflict, and maybe he'll trade us like some Fallout stuff or something. So, and we could 3D print some stuff, and the rules are free. So it's worth checking out. And war never changes. Hold on, wait, I didn't do that justice. War never changes. There you go, that was better. I'd play Turnip over Old World, but that's just me. Yeah, that's the thing. No, I'll tell you one thing right now. I wouldn't buy a goddamn thing from GW. 3D printer go burr. But he's super into it. But right, I mean, we haven't talked about it much. You know what I mean? This looks interesting though, and this I don't think you need a lot either. You don't need a lot of miniatures for the Fallout game and stuff. And I can play it solo, so I don't even need Rev anymore. Get him out of the picture. Get out of here. Painting your totem core up. God damn it. No, he's doing good. But I can also like play the solo, which could be cool. You know what I mean? Anyways, so. We got the header or the contents. So I did check this out a little bit, and just to wrap my head around a little bit. But we're gonna look now. One thing, this is stuff like here. This I like. We got mutants versus looks like some brother. And I don't know I don't remember all of the Fallout stuff, right? But we got the power armor dudes, the Brotherhood of Steel, I think they're called, or something. I want to say. I'm gonna have to like go back and play Fallout 3 if we start making videos on this game though, just so I can like. Because this game does have somewhat defined lore. I guess, we don't have to. We could just, like, have the story of, like, some wasteland dudes starting off and, like, making their way through somewhere. And, like, because you could always be like, why can't we say we're in, like, Virginia, like the newer Fallouts? Or you could be up in New York somewhere or something, Or who knows? I don't know. We'd have to look. Old World is cool. I got turned off when the Cathay was introduced. Yeah, see, I don't know anything about it. Fallout is a kill team like game, but you can do boss battles with it. So there's 2 Fallout games. There's Wasteland Warfare, and then there's another one. What's the other one called? There's Fallout Factions, or the other one. So I don't know what the difference between Fallout Factions is. Is this a skirmish vert? But the other one doesn't seem like... I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe this is more of like a straight up war game or something. Because with this Fallout game, it seems like it's like you can either play it solo or 1v1, and you have like settlements and you're generating missions and stuff like that. This seems very similar to... This seems very similar to like almost how 5 Parsecs from Home is, but more like traditional miniatures game. You think Factions is more like a D&D type game? Let's take a look. Where's the rule book for it? Can we... They have the crew folio and this and that, this and that. Let me just look at the... Modifius doesn't make it easy to find some of the stuff at times. By the way, Drive-thru RPG. This is what I've been using for years. I do enjoy them. So it's a skirmish game. Skirmish level game for 2 players where you take control of wastelanders vying for power of an irradiated hellscape. Full to bursting with monsters, mercenaries, murders, miscreants, and all doing exactly the same. Over the course of several games, crews will rise, fall, each moving through their own stories through an intricate campaign system. On the tabletop, players control a unique group of miniatures representing a core faction from the Fallout universe and bring them to the battle crews of other players in a fast-paced, dice-hurling, action-paced skirmish war game. It sounds like almost like the other one, but this one's played on a 2x3. So this one seems like maybe it's a little bit quicker, fast-paced or something, and it's like you play a couple games or something. Meanwhile, this version seems like it's more of a... You can almost like make it into like a story. There's a narrative version, and then there's a competitive 1v1. I think is what I read some stuff on Reddit. People were talking about like it just surmising the game or something. I think there's more role playing than war game with that one. Well, they also have then the RPG expansion of this game, which then turns it into actual D&D. It turns it into a tabletop role-playing game. One of our friends actually ran a game of the Fallout tabletop role-playing game, which I found out later is an expansion, I think. Well, there's 2. There's an expansion on this one, then there's a separate Fallout game. I don't know what the hell's going on. There's so many games, I just loved Warhammer too much. Had a break off from it completely. Couldn't watch it slowly die. Yeah, it's funny. I've not had any desire to play like Warhammer 40k at all since we started playing. Like we played one game, and just as like, oh, let's try Warhammer again or something. But yeah, I haven't had like really any desire. If anything, I've been like, let me try other games too. So playing in the Fallout world here. Fallout Wasteland Warfare is a tabletop game where you explore the outside world of your protective vault, encounter strange people and creatures, and build up a motley crew on the wasteland. It's a narrative gaming event, but it's also an in-depth hobby experience. Ooh. Rule set gives you an insight to the background, factions, and immersive wargaming in the world of Fallout. Will you start a settlement, investigate mysterious signals, and protect the innocent as settlers and survivors? Or will you turn feral, leading your super mutant horde against the squishy humans? Or humans, or something. Didn't they talk like that? The big super mutant guys? Which, I got killed by those super mutants all the time back in the day. Like venturing into the wrong areas in Fallout. Are you set on protecting humanity from itself? Boop. Gives players opportunity for a vast array of different game types and play styles, as well as collecting, modeling highly detailed miniatures. Covers everything from large-scale campaigns to solo play, competitive tournaments to weekend narratives fought between friends. Interesting. Yeah, I thought this was... They talk about painting. One of the first things they show you is how to build... Like, talking about washing your miniatures because of resin, removing the mold lines, preparing... This is actually pretty interesting. Like, they don't show you that in a lot of stuff. And, like, painting, I thought that was kind of cool. They show you how to, like, paint some guys right at the beginning. So the one thing I don't like about games, and I will say, even conflict, it's doable because it's what do you call it? It's like a couple extra dice, for instance, like the Rift dice. The Rift dice, even I'm like, dude, I don't want to spend $20 on just some dice or something, right? Or the order dice, but that's okay. Now this game though has like cards and special dice and tokens and all that stuff. So this is one thing where it's like, this is where it gets almost a little overwhelming at times. You know what I mean? As long as it's easy to understand, but like, I'm going to have to print out, or I'm going to have to buy these cards, or vice versa or something, you know? And this also means when filming the game, that I'm going to, I mean, theoretically, it could make it easier, right? If they have PDFs, I can like put these things on the screen. It could actually kind of visually be nice. But that also means just a ton more work. Right, so that's something to think about. So let's see. What do they talk about here? So there's markers and tokens. Blue-backed unit cards. So they have the abilities. They're often the cards you use the most. So there's also, like, you got to realize there's like strength, probably perception, endurance, charisma, I'm guessing, intelligence, agility, and luck. So it's like Fallout where you have your stuff. All of it should come in a starter set. Yeah. I could always get, you know, get whatever I need for sure. I just want to see what the game's like before we dive into it, right? And it looks, if you get the starter set, it comes with all of the cards and all of the tokens and everything you need or whatever. Which would probably be easy. I'm going to be honest with you, probably easier than trying to print all this stuff out. Because when it comes to, like, I've tried printing out a bunch of, like, cards for tabletop games. It gets kind of annoying after a while. One-page rules wasn't that bad, but aside from the other cards, there are large cards in the set, which are reference cards for models, factions, and AI cards used for solo play. Yeah, so there's like AI cards, kind of like how you have AI charts or tables in games like 5 Parsecs or Rangers, Shadow Deep, where, you know, it'll have like, if no enemies in line of sight, and within range of a gun, you know, move them within cover, staying out of line of sight to try and get within range, and keep doing that, for instance, you know. Or if there's an objective or something. Always grateful that Warhammer, or that WH, who's WH? Are you just talking about Warhammer, or introduced me to Conflict, though? Taught me how to paint, etc.? For convenience to buy the set, yeah. Event cards. So this is like stuff you use in the campaign. Perks and boosts. I gotta say, dude, there's a lot. Danger, stranger, creature cards. A leader card. So, but, you know, it does kind of make it fun, right? This is a different game. This almost does feel like Savage Worlds or something like that, playing like a TTRPG. Explore cards. You know what I mean? And so all of this isn't necessarily you have to use it too. A lot of this comes from the campaign. Hold on. My neighbor's dog's barking. Oh, sorry. Smack the mic. Yeah, Warhammer? Okay. I don't think you have to use all of this stuff, by the way. So. Anyways. There's a lot of accessories. That can be a little daunting when checking out new war games. I will admit. I got my window. This dog is so loud. This is my other neighbor's dog. They come out every once in a while, but it's just teeny dog that's just got the loudest little yip barks. I can always put my well, I got music in. Let me know if it gets too loud. We're turning this up just a little bit. So yeah, solo. It's got several game modes: solo co-op mode, narrative settlement mode, and a two-player mode. In this book, we concentrate on the rules necessary for the two-player mode, while others are covered in the campaign book. So that being said, the campaign book is like $9 on Modifius. Or on drive-thru. I think it's like $13 on Modifius or something. So this is the role-playing version of the Fallout Wasteland Warfare. And I think there's a whole nother Fallout role-playing game. Or no, this is just an expansion. Yeah, all these. This is for the role-playing version. There's a lot. There's a lot of crap. Okay. If you're new to it, you may prefer to begin with the Getting Acclimated book. Roger, I see. There's like a starting out thing. But hey, we're all wargamers here. Okay, we could take a look at the rule book. Your forces, which will belong to one of the Fallout factions, is built from models and the related unit cards using weapon cards and other item cards acquired along the way. So you're gonna I believe the way it works, it's kind of interesting. You can acquire, let's say you find a shotgun. You now have a shotgun and you can probably do things to it and stuff. There's also actions. So I think you can take up to 2 actions or something like that. An action to move, fire, or attack in combat, which I'm trying to think what other games are where there's actions and you could take a limited number of actions. I want to say maybe, is that like that in Trench Crusade? There's another war game where we played where you could do a couple actions. It might have been 5 Parsecs. This one. Oh, the ice cream man's driving by. I actually went out and got ice cream for the first time in years or something. XCOM has that. There's a couple war games that have that. Which I don't mind. And interact in the Wasteland itself. Attacks and skills use are both resolved through skill tests made with dice rolls. So I'm guessing this is where on the cards, your agility and your intellect and things like that. This is very tabletop role playing esque. You know what I mean? For sure. Oathmark has the thing where you get 2 actions if you pass a leadership. Oathmark. Is that a solo TTRPG or is that a tabletop war game? It sounds familiar to no, I think that's something different. I'm not familiar with that one. What's going on, Gara? Skill test, yada yada yada. You can use luck, perhaps. Game card. The game card's many icons may seem daunting at first. Yes, I looked at it and I was like, it is quite daunting. But as you read through the chapters, icons and markers are highlighted in the margins for easy reference and identification. You will be guided through the anatomy of the game cards. Chapters will prompt you through 5 new tutorial scenarios, which use the full extent of the rulebook. This is nice. 5 Parsecs from Home also does this, where they have I think it's 7 scenarios that they want you to play solo at the start just to learn. So that's pretty cool. It's a war game? Oh, okay, gotcha. It sounds familiar, but there's so many war games that I've looked at in the past. We're gonna have to get some like appropriate terrain though, for sure, if we do this. So Fallout Wasteland uses rulers, range rulers for all measurements. Any player can measure and pre-measure at any time. That's nice. Conflict. I do like that we can't do that in Conflict, but sometimes we forget. I'm like, oh damn, and I don't know. But that's part of the fun of Conflict is when Rev doesn't know if he's within 12 inches or not, and then I'm playing mind games with him, and I'm like, I don't know, bro. And I like, because I've tied so many flies that were certain ranges and distances I'm pretty good with, because it's with fly tying and fishing that I just kind of see a lot, like a 28-inch striped bass, for instance. But anyways, yo, what's going on, Damned Legion? How's it going? Hope you're doing well. So icons on the unit cards. So there's orange, there's search, awareness, and move distances. What? Dude, there's gonna be this is so much to do. This is so much. Alright. So you got all these icons. Icons on the unit cards, range on weapon cards and other items are color coded to show which color range ruler. Oh. So if it says you can search orange, that means this is the distance you can search. Or move distance orange, I think. Special. This was from the game Fallout, right? This is spells out the attribute system. So these are like your attributes for your skill tests. Different models, characters may use different attributes for skills to determine if they succeeded the test. For example, while most models use perception for ranged combat, others may use agility or even strength. Oh, that's kind of cool. So I wonder, how do they... It probably says it on the card. As a DM or GM, when I was running Savage Worlds, if somebody was like, can I use my, intelligence to try and, like, figure out how to, like, move this giant... that's the same thing. I like that. Instead of just being like, oh, you got to make a strength roll or something. But the strength, perception, endurance, charisma, intelligence, agility, luck. These are all pretty straightforward if you've ever played any tabletop RPG games. So I know you play Cosmic. Has anyone else played this Fallout game? I'm curious. All right, skill tests. Determined by skill tests, a player rolls a 20-sided die with numbers and icons, usually accompanied by one or more effect dice. Okay, so that's a D12, which comes in a variety of colors indicating different effects. Every model's unit card includes the special attributes. Next to those icons, are icons representing skills that correspond with those attributes. Oh, okay, so like perception would be shooting. Strength would be like stabbing and probably bombs. Like, oh no, that's grenade. So what is that? Something. Endurance is like your health checks or something. Charisma is maybe like, is that like an intimidation or something? And like a talking or searching, intelligence, and technological, and then agility for like grenades or something like that. Yeah, this would be, I'm not gonna lie, this would be a game where you gotta really like understand the rules. If I did make a video, most of the comments would be about how we screwed stuff up, probably. You know what I mean? One of those games. So this is like, how do you film? Do I film this by like showing all of the dice and everything? Or probably maybe just like do it more like where it's like more narrative style, where it's like like, and do with voiceovers. So someone did ask if I can at least explain, like, okay, we're going to need a 5 to hit here on the conflict videos. And I think I should start doing that every once in a while at least. But I've had other people that are like, God, can you speed up your videos? They're too slow. And other people are like, you got to explain more. So I'm trying to find a nice balance. But I do think I'm going to try and just at least, because I show the dice rolls, I might as well, if I'm not going to cut them out, I might as well explain. For a skills test to succeed, you need to, the result must be equal to or lower than, oh, so this is the lower than, right? The result must be equal to or lower than the skill value. So let's say you're rolling, yeah, so you're rolling under. Which is, I don't really care whether it's over or under. I've played games with like TTRPGs where you roll under a lot of times. Okay, so there's a lot. So this is your testing, your skills. There's a lot to it. Opposed to skill tests. So this is what I don't get. There's so many icons on here, though. Like, for these D20s or the D12s. There's one thing I don't get. The paladin's adjusted skill value is 5. The paladin rolls the skill dice plus 1 accuracy effect dice. That's the smaller D12. The skill dice shows a 6, which he needed to get less than, right? Or yeah, 5. Oh, okay. And the accuracy dice shows -2. Thus, the adjusted skill result is 4. Oh, so you -2 from the 6. Okay. And then it's a success because you needed to get below 5. Gotcha. Fallout Tactics was the best linear RPG with cool, interesting characters. Definitely not everyone's favorite, but great game. Similar to what you're describing. Yeah, there's, I mean, even the original Fallouts were good. I haven't played that. Is that, wait, are you talking about this is a tabletop game you're talking about? Which one was, didn't we talk about, there's Fallout Factions and Wasteland Warfare. Yeah. This is a older RPG, you mean? Like TTRPG? Skill dice icons. Here we go. I was like, what the hell are these? Okay, so we got fails. Do they show you, though, that you can just use regular dice? Oh, number face. So number face is 2 to 10. Result of a 1. Result of a 1. Yeah, so I don't know how you would... Did they have it to where you can use regular dice? I'm assuming there is, right? You can just assign a number to a result for the die. I mean, here's the thing, all right? We'd probably end up getting the dice if we bought Thane or something like that, but still. I don't know, man. This is a lot. I'm not going to lie. Tactics was an RTS? Ah, okay, gotcha. It was a video game. Okay, gotcha. I've never played it then, no. I know the original 2 Fallouts were kind of like a, almost like an above, different style than obviously of 3 or something, you know? Skill die is a 20-sided die. Number results 2 to 10. Other faces which bear icons are shown in the table above. Oh, these are the other. So you kind of need the dice, it looks like. Otherwise, you're going to be like consulting a chart every time or something, right? Extra damage. Reduces armor. Bonus to skill. And special effects. Oh, this is the effect dice. This is what you roll with a skill dice. Units and models. If a model is unique, in the top left corner, it'll have a unique icon. Oh, dog meat. Dog bite. Can't go up ladders. Move, double move. See, not be seen. It's like what's seen, what you could do or something, it looks like. Isometric squad-based RTS based on the Brotherhoods of Steel. Gotcha. The only RTSs I got into was the original StarCraft. Played that a lot back in the day. On, you know, freaking computers that we would later use dial-up on or something. Then Warcraft 3, which Warcraft 3 was amazing. Loved it. Later on in life, I played Age of Empires 2. And that was fantastic. And then most recently, I got into a game named BAR or something, or BAR. And it's like based off of some mod in a game that was where you had commanders. And you have your commander that you build things with. And your commander can go and fight. But like if it dies, then you lose altogether or something. I don't know. Interesting game. It's like a completely free game that they're working on. But I think it's called BAR, bar or something like that. Other than that, those were the most like RTS type stuff I played. Okay, so you got uniques that are unique units. Each turn, player must make models ready. The models showing the way that they have readiness. So you have little markers. This is so you got markers, you got cards, ready, unready, or used. Yeah, this is gonna be a lot for sure. These are so what? Their player's turn. It's a settler's player's turn. You must apply the ready side of a readiness marker to a model without a readiness marker. A settler 1 and 3 have already used their readiness markers. 1 ready and 1 used. The player must make either settler 2 or 4 ready. Afterwards, they can choose to activate all their ready models. Settler 1 plus 2 or 4, depending on which they just made ready, or they can choose not to activate any for now. If it's a super unit's turn, they must mutant's turn. They must allocate ready to super mutant B, and then they must activate their ready models, because B and C, because all the player models will have a readiness marker. Beyond all reason. Yeah. Bar. I've played it. A spiritual successor to Supreme Commander. Yes. There you go. I found it because of like Winter SER Games or something like that, or something Winter StarCraft or whatever. But that dude does like that randomly popped up, like one of his thumbnails where it was like 1,000 people playing or something. I was like, what the hell is this game? And it was like a game with like hundreds of people on each side, and I was like, whoa. That game was kind of cool. It was also RTSs though are like peak sweat gaming. You know what I mean? It's a little tough for me nowadays. It is a very good game though. Move, shoot, charge, close combat. Okay, yep. Move distance. Okay. The move action allows a full move distance. Length of the color rule indicated in the top left of the models. Move the maximum, you move in a straight line. Okay, gotcha. Models can pass through friendlies. Yep. Okay, so each, they have different size rulers. But you could also just figure out, all right, this guy gets to move this much, this one moves that much. Unless they made these weird distances, which would be really annoying. Instead of it just being like, this is 4 inches, this one's 6, whatever. Model can take an action to make an attack. For each weapon type has a skill icon in the top left of its weapon card. So that's going to be the one that you're using the skill test for like this weapon, for instance. Make a shooting attack, must have relevant skill, and target must be in range, line of sight. Whoa. What the hell is this? They were like, okay, I'm not gonna lie. They were like, how do we... Let's just get as many... Alright, I got an idea. Let's make a war game. But hear me out. Let's get as many goddamn symbols. Erroneous symbols. We'll start putting symbols inside of symbols. And then we'll put them on the cards. And it'll be like learning... Like, they need to learn cartography. What is this game, dude? We got a circle inside of a fucking shape over here. Little pluses and checkered security signs. What is this, dude? Look how many... Let's just count how many symbols are on this one card real quick. That's a symbol. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. There's 21 different symbols. I'm sure there's a reference chart, but my God. That must be like an ability symbol or something. Stuart Legion has symbols. There's symbols everywhere. This right here though really threw me for a loop. There's like just a black one for long range, but there's a black and a green with a dot for short. Like, I'm just trying to look at this without reading any of it. Like, how do you play this game? It's got to be some modifier or something. The Soul Survivor is armed with an assault rifle while shooting at a super mutant A. The target will be at the short range, so the players roll skill dice. +1 accuracy. Green dice. Ah, that's the effect dice. Is that what that is? I see. I see. And you get +1 because there's a dot there or something. Yeah, Kill Team 2. I that's why I do like skirmish games that don't have too much crap. Like one-page rules. One-page rules, I don't think... There's like literally nothing on the board other than the miniatures. Oops, sorry. Do we have a Discord? Yeah, we do have a Discord. It's in the description. Now, I will warn you, it's mostly like a fishing Discord for fly tying and fishing. But I do have... what do you call it? I do have a tabletop section if you feel interested. I don't have a separate Discord just for Mike Rolls Dice. Maybe at some point, but I also don't feel like having 2 Discords, so you can feel free to join the other one if you want. It's in the description. RTS, you were born of it? COH. What was COH? I'm trying to remember. I don't know. Gotta sell the accessories? Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. This is kind of throwing me off. Even if Tiki still wants to, I'm totally down. I just don't know if we'll use them for Fallout Wasteland. We might, like, do something else. We might play Zone Alpha or something with them. We'll see, though. I don't want to, like, say I'm not going to play this. But I'm going to tell you right now, Rev's going to be like, look, if we play this, then you're going to need to learn everything. And it's going to be the thing where I'm never going to learn. You know what I mean? Fishing war game? Dude, I want to make a fishing war game. I want to make a fishing war game for sure. I want to figure out how to make a tabletop, like, miniatures game with fishing in the future. I want to, but I don't know how, you know? Like, make a video on it or something and then release it. Because I know that's my forte. That's my wheelhouse. Battle of the Bass. There you go. Yeah, I don't know how we would do it. See, now screw this Fallout game, dude. Let's start figuring out how we do Battle of the Bass. How do we make a tabletop fishing game and do the fish fight back? You know what I mean? Or maybe you can catch like monsters that you have to fight. Like you accidentally catch like a some sort of like creature that fights back and you're just trying to fish. Turnip opportunity, it does have some cool stuff. You can make some like things. You get tiny rods too. Yeah. If you love fly fishing, you should definitely visit New Zealand. New Zealand has some amazing trout fishing. There's a dude fly fishing New Zealand who I've been watching for years. But dude, I was gonna move to New Zealand until I found out that I needed to have $1 million cash in the bank. Like I need to have a net worth of $1 million, or I had to apply for an eligible job that would allow me to get a visa to get into the country, which there were for mechanics, and I was a mechanic for like 5-6 years at the time. I was thinking about moving to New Zealand, and then I was like, dude, I can't move to New Zealand. Plus, cannabis wasn't legalized. You know what I'm talking about? But for the bow hunting, go hunt some red deer on foot in Lord of the Rings land. Yeah, that would be amazing. I would love to visit New Zealand one day, do some fly fishing. Let's go fishing war game. Yeah, I think the fishing. I don't even want to talk about the Fallout game anymore. I want to start figuring out how do we do a fishing war game. You know what I mean? Viva La Dirt has a fishing game. I've seen that. Yeah. I've been watching Viva La Dirt for years, man. I love them. They have some great videos. They have some fantastic. And if you haven't checked out Viva La Dirt D&D or whatever, that channel, but Rob Hartley, is it Rob Hartley? Not Harvey, right? Rob Hartley, DM. I want to say is his last name. I love him as a DM. He's one of my favorite GMs of all time, and I based a lot of like my own stuff off of stuff he's done. Sick a deer, more of a challenge with a bow. Yeah. I would love to. We hunt with tree stands out here, which is boring. The King Murder Crab. Yeah, dude. I feel like the fishing game would work better as a TTRPG. Yeah, that's the thing, Time Guy. I don't know if it would be. It wouldn't be necessarily like it would be a like a war game. It could be more of like a miniatures like adventure game, kind of like how like 5 Parsecs or like the Fallout game is. How you could have a campaign and a narrative, and you can play it solo, or you could do 1v1, or you could do 1v1v1, and it could be like a fishing competition. But the whole idea is like, what I'm thinking is you could fish, right? And you'll have to try and make tests and stuff to see where if the fish pass. But also then maybe you could like, there's chances to catch stuff that could fight. That's one way. Or you can make it straight up about the fishing and the fish themselves, and it be like the whole mechanics is like you fighting the fish or something. I don't know how you would have to go about doing it, but. Oh yeah, and if you forgot to get your renew your fishing licenses and you lose all your fish to the game warden, that would be on the random table chart. Yeah. Every time someone wishes me a good morning, I have to hold back because they won't get the reference. I'm trying to think. Good morning. I don't know. I don't get it. I'm gonna be honest with you too. I also don't spoil it. I didn't watch the finale of their D&D thing. I have to watch it at some point. I watched like all the way up until like the last maybe 8 episodes or something on their D&D. I have to watch it. Fish versus man. There you go. All right, well, let me pull up the notepad. Hold on. Mike rolls dice. Man versus fish. It's a work in progress. Good morning, Vietnam. Okay. Fishing tabletop miniature game. And I spelled miniature wrong already. So, it's got to be about fishing. Okay? But now, like I said, there's a couple ways you could go about it. You could really make it about the mechanics of fishing, right? And you could make it about the variety and the sorts of fish you could catch or whatever. But like, is the fighting, is it like when you're fighting the fish, is that the fighting sequence? Or is the fishing like part of it and then there's like actual fighting involved? Maybe like you could also fight other fishermen. You know what I mean? Or something like that. There can be a mechanic where you or your opponent make a BS test to check if their weight was in the fit. I'm totally writing that down. BS skill check to lie about size of fish. This could be like you're down at the bar, you know, or something like, man, I tell you what, we had I had one that was 32 inches. I'm telling you, it had to have been at least 20 pounds. Final boss, Megalodon. Okay, you know, I'm just writing everything down. I saw some other stuff. We're open to all ideas around here. Someone can be the fish. Ah. Player controls fish? There could be a mode where you play as the fish. Your tall tail? The tall tail roll. That's so good, dude. The tall tail roll. I kind of like the BS check, though. But it could be a skill. You could have the tall tail skill. A merman! Okay, let me write that down. Merman. Pops. Merman. Yep. Write that one down. Did I spell Megalodon wrong? I did. So what I'm thinking is... let's see. We can get down in the mechanics and stuff, but I'm just thinking, we're thinking broad scale. This is like, you know how they do this at businesses? They're like, all right, they got like a big whiteboard, you know, and they give everyone pop brownies and they say, all right, here we go. We got to come up with the next Kojima game or something like that. This is what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? Turn your friend that found secret spot into chum. Oh, spot burning. Or maybe, yeah, you could how about a duel over the spots or something? I like the idea of fisherman versus fisherman, randomly, like some dude could pull up and try and take your spot. You know, this is like, again, this could be solo or something. Yeah, cheating. Yeah, you could try and cheat because there's a whole, like, you could be like the thief. You know how there's like a thief in D&D or whatever, or a rogue, or it would be, right? You could be like a rogue type fisherman where you're like lying about your fish. You're like stealing your fish bait from the fish shop and you're putting weights in the fish for the tournaments. So what about like a rogue class for lying, stealing, and cheating weights in fish? Beautiful. Beautiful. There's got to be a random... So there's got to be, like, gear, too, obviously. There needs to be certain, maybe, like, gear scores for rods and stuff. Tackle. I don't know what that means, but I just mean, like, maybe, like, depending on how good the gear is and the strength of it means how easy it is to catch fish or something like that. Now, the thing is, though, is it just you catching fish, or is it, like, is there monsters, or we go into the post-apocalyptic world and only people that keep committing? I'm going to be honest with you, that last sentence, I have no idea what you're talking about. I need an octopus. Okay, gotcha. You're right. What's that stupid octopus song that fucking Morty, you know, always plays? I did not know about the deep lore about that octopus. And one day I'm hanging out with Rev, and he has Morty and Stream going, and he's like, I am an octopus. I'm like, what the fuck is going on over there, dude? I forgot isn't that your doing, right? We could all post-apocalyptic and fishing in the flooded world where only the fishes are brave. Ah, okay. So maybe like post-apocalyptic, apocalyptic? I did not spell that right. How the fuck do you spell A-P, apocalyptic? Oh, I'm trying to figure this out, dude. It's been so long. Oh, that's why. There's a Y in there, of course. Look, dude, I've learned if I let this stupid autocorrect spell everything for me, every once in a while I need to sit down and try and figure out how to spell words that I haven't typed out in, like, since I was in college or something, you know what I mean? Like, I let autocorrect do everything now. I'm starting to forget how the English language works. Post-apocalyptic fishing. Yeah, what if it's like the world got flooded? The world got flooded or something. We're workshopping a fishing game. How's it going, Jenny? A tabletop fishing game. Each round, the fishing difficulty increases. First, it's small fish, then bigger fish come and steal your fish, and it goes on from there. So you got to start out, work your way up. Well, that's the roguelike. That's the roguelike version. Or we could say Zero to Hero. Or Minnow to Monster mode. Because there should be different modes, right? You should be able to also just go for the big ones if you want. World building in apocalypse like Waterworld. Oh, dude, it could be like a Waterworld fishing game. Dude, Waterworld. You know the cool thing? You could make a really easy map. You just get a blue mat. And you just take little pieces of, like, the tips of buildings and, like, rocks and stuff, you know? Waterworld meets Subnautica. I like that. Like, in terms of, like, the weird monsters. Like, the weird flora and fauna. Is that how you spell? Oh, wait, not... No. Not... Subnautica. Is that? I think that's how you spell it. You actually spell it. I could be wrong. Whatever. Yeah, I like that. Also, maybe like you could generate maps. Generate maps. Using like tables and stuff. You know what I mean? Because I have a lot of books from solo TTRPGs. The Octopus Cult. Yeah, they could be villains. Minnow to Megalodon. Yep. Weather-based mechanics. There definitely needs to be weather. Because let's be honest, if it's a Waterworld Subnautica-esque like game, let's just picture you're just... Maybe you're constantly adrift out at sea and there's never enough land to actually stay anywhere or something. Maybe you could make a base somewhere. But so there's got to be weather mechanics because there needs to... the weather affects the fishing, but it also could affect your boat. Now I feel like we need like a raft mechanic. But that sounds like too much. I'm going to do a possible raft mechanic. Also, bases... Like, what about having a base? You know what I mean? Like on a tiny island somewhere or something. Maybe that also... Maybe this base also is part of the boat. Yeah. Oh, there definitely needs to be the game warden. The game warden is going to be... Now, so there's two ways we could go about this. You could just make the game warden the bad guy. And he goes around looking, checking for your fish, and he goes, "You don't have a fishing permit." And you're like, "I can't get a fishing permit. It's the end of the world." But he lost his mind, and he's deemed himself to be the game warden, and he hunts you down, and you have to either try and hide or fight him. But I like game wardens as a real fisherman. I like game wardens because people who poach are assholes, and people do poach out here for striped bass and stuff, and fluke and flounder, and they're doing serious damage to our fishery. So I do like game wardens. So I don't want to make the game wardens a bad guy, but the thing that something tells me is, yeah, there needs to be like the game warden needs to hunt you down because you don't have a fishing license, and he's strong as shit. He's got like guns and shit. You know, you're like, oh fuck. All right, I gotta write all this down. Hold on. Game warden hunts you. Underwater levels or spearfishing. The crazy bait fisherman. What are you buying? I think you probably have a random chart with that you can roll up what he has available. This is really turning into a solo TTRPG. The poachers. The poachers are the bandits, and they try and steal your fish. Poacher bandits. The worst scum on the seas. Yep. They'll do whatever they can, dude. And even if they can't get your fish, they'll just throw it overboard. You know? Fish from the abyss. Yeah, you could have we're gonna have weird and wacky fish. You know? And they'll be like Ben Stiller as a merman and all that. You need to pay for bait, so each fish you catch racks up points. Points you can spend to build a bigger boat or spend on better bait. Yeah. So the gear score, I think we'll tie in here. Bait. There's like a bait score or like lure scores and stuff like that, and you have to work your way up for it. But what I'm thinking is how do you? There should be like an outpost. You know what I mean? That you trade, or the bait trader or something. I feel like where you could sell stuff, you know, if we're going for like that water world aspect. It's like post-apocalyptic. But it's definitely you can work your way, like certain things you can catch certain stuff, but I feel like there should be a random chance where on a tiny hook you could catch a giant fish randomly, you know what I mean? Yeah, but bait score or limitations on gear. For sure. Let me think what else what's fishing stuff. Needs swamp. Well, swamp is what do you call it? I'll write it down. That's expansion. That's the swamp expansion. Maybe like the swamp is where mainland in North America, you know, where or something where it's just turned into a big swamp or something. Swamp? Question mark? Lunar, yeah. So no. The weather, we're gonna have that. Just like in real life, moon cycles affect the fishing. How you keep track of this, I have no idea. Maybe it's based on literally whatever the moon is in real life. Oh my god, that sounds so much easier. Moon cycle. That sounds so much easier. Based on current real life. So you just look it up. What's the moon? You know what I mean? And it's depending on whether it's waxing, crescent, or waning, or something like that. There'll be a chart for depending on certain fish bite more. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just a straight up moon thing. Also weather. When it's rainy and low barometric pressure, that low barometric pressure is more conducive to fish coming to the surface and feeding aggressively. So that's when you have better fishing. I think the way this works as a war game is some sort of has to play as the fish and someone as a whole crew, not a single fisherman. So the fish player has a chance to kill you. Yeah, I think if you did do it as like 1v1, you could either try to outfish each other, or someone can be the fish, right? And you can try and you could be like a school of fish, for instance, and they could be a boat, or their fishing crew. You know what I mean? So it could either be like a fishing competition, or fish school, let's say, or maybe a shark, versus the fisherman. Well, you could just give you so many different, there's so many different ideas, right? Who says you have to play it one way? You could just say, well, you could either try to outfish each other, and it's like the normal game. Whoever gets the most points at the end of the round, or at the end of the 5 rounds of fishing wins. And you could try and attack each other the whole time. Let's say you have 2 fishing boats each, and they have guns on them, and they have cannons that shoot each other while you're fishing. That would be so cool, dude. We're definitely making a fishing war game, whether it could be solo or whether it be versus each other. Yeah, you could do multiple settlements. Like, I love the idea of the 1v1 competition can be, how do you spell cordial? Cordial? Or 2 crews with cannons trying to outfish each other, Like Warhammer Crusade, you could build your experience. Yeah, we definitely want some sort of narrative, or we definitely want a campaign sort of element. And that's where you could start, and you could start, it could be 10 to 20 campaign turns or something, for instance, and then you could have fishing tournaments in between, stuff like that. Yeah. Very nice. Let me think. So there's bait fishing. There's lure or tackle, and fly fishing. So we'll do all that. Oh man, then you can even get into like man, you could have so much crap for this. Have factions be sponsors or towns you represent giving you small buffs. Maybe you could have boons, you're saying? Something like that? Or like sponsors for your fishing boat? Oh my god. From towns or businesses or entities, like the mafias or something. On your boat. So your boat will have like stickers on it. Like, come down to Kathy's sand. She's got the best sand if you're looking for jarred sand. You know what I mean? Whatever. Yeah. That's great. You could have sponsors, dude. That's so good. Mike, you'd probably love my dad's old flies from pre-2000s. He tied his own. Very nice. Very cool. Yeah. What do you call it? I started in probably the late 90s when I was a kid, probably like 8 or 9 or so. And so I started off early on. And what's cool about that is I have a lot of old books from the 90s and 2000s, 70s, and 80s that I've acquired over the time. And I was like, not many kids were into it back then. So I met a lot of cool people. And, oh yeah, pirates. And because I do this for a living, I actually get to talk to a lot of folks that wrote books and that did seminars I went to, so it's really cool. I get to talk to these amazing people that were like the guys that you wanted to talk to, you know what I mean? So I'm lucky that I get to do that. All I had to do was quit my job as a mechanic and be broke for the rest of my life to tie flies for a living. Oh, wrong one. That's where I need the be right back thing, you know? But the cool thing is, everyone thinks I'm pretty good at fly tying. Yep. No, I love what I do for a living. Yeah, pirates. That's all I need to really write. Pirates, right? That kind of goes with the poachers, but maybe they could be different, like the greasers. I love how we're making like a Waterworld fishing game. I'm not even joking, Chad. I'm gonna work on this. Tackling the apocalypse. Ooh, we need a name thing over here. So I think I'll do man vs. fish because that seems like a pretty good one. I like it. Oh, it's an A. I forgot. Apoca. The apocalypse. That's a good one. This fishing game, maybe... Look, dude, you never know. Maybe we could make, like, a couple $100 off of, fucking... free fishing rules, and it says, like, hey, you can pay what you want. Okay. Yeah, so I'll tell you what I'm envisioning. After all this. This is really good, chat. Maybe this is what we'll stream every week. We'll work on the fishing game, and we'll start trying to figure it out. The cool thing is, I know, spending pretty much my whole life fishing and working in the fishing industry, I have a pretty good grasp on, what do you call it? On the different types of fish, fishing terms, tackle terminology, you know, swivels, or whether you're using weights, or whether you're using certain aught hooks, 4/0, 2/0, you know, size ones, you know, pound tests and tackle, whether you're using fluorocarbon or braid or monofilament, different rods, spinning, casting, bait casters, conventional, you know, different stuff like that, right? And different fishing techniques, you know, jigging, popping, drifting, swinning, all these different stuff, right? So there's so many possibilities just in terms of pure mechanics, which I don't know if I want to go that deep, but I guess it depends how deep you want to do it or go with it. But so I have like everything fishing covered, right? So I think it's just a matter of trying to figure out what would actually, how can you make fishing fun, right? Because like, you could just make it to where it's like, oh, look, oh, I got a fish or something. Let me do a skill check. Oh, I did it. You know, that's like very basic, like TTRPG stuff. But if we could figure out a way to maybe like where you can set up on your table, like this size table, like a small little thing you could set up, or you could set it up on a big board, but you could have a small little, let's say like 2x2 or something, or even smaller, and you can just set it up, and you can essentially like just put out some random terrain on your table and then roll some dice and generate random encounters every time. And you can essentially make it like Fallout or something, where it's like you get a mission if you want. You go to the town, you generate a random mission, and it's like, hey, we want you to go out and get some fish. And then you can roll up what the weather's like. You can see what the moon cycle, you know, check your phone, do everything. And you can go out there, and while you're out there and while you're fishing, like random things could occur and random things could happen. Because like as you move and fish, you know, random things can happen. You have to roll for maybe every certain amount of distance or grids. Let's say if we did grids, I don't know, however we'd want to do it. Doesn't matter. You can do it either way. And there could be like random events where other poachers show up. The game warden shows up. Weather things happen, right? And then you could have like where it's like, like the Pokemon music starts and like a freaking Hydra comes out, or like a giant crab. Maybe you're catching something and it turns out like you caught on to like a merman, and he comes up with like a spear and attacks you. So that could be kind of cool, you know what I mean? And then you could have dudes on jet skis like greasers coming up and shooting guns at you or something, you know, like you could do some cool stuff. So that's kind of what I'm picturing. And then you catch the fish. You either need to go sell the fish, or what you can do is maybe there's like a thing where you can like like we said, where you can progress slowly with, and you can like start using the smaller fish as bait, for instance, for the larger fish. You know what I mean? So, Mike or Cosmic, is it possible for you to share a picture with Mike from Morning Glory, or what, from his Discord? Possibly, maybe. I'm not in the Morning Glory Discord, unfortunately. Which I think Rev gifted me a sub at some point. I don't know if I need to be in one or something, but I should just join at some point because you guys have been mentioning stuff before. The worm goes on the hook. Yeah. For sure. All right. Interesting. Very interesting. I think there's something to be had here. I love all the different. We got some good brainstorming in. I'm gonna think about it, and I had this thought before. I was like, dude, I should do something fishing related, but I didn't really know. I was like, you know, I didn't really know what it'd be like, but I kind of love the idea of it's like where you know, once you mentioned the turnip thing, like we can make it like silly yet still like scare, like grimdark or something. You know, there's so many things you could do with it. It doesn't have to be like, okay, now I'm going fishing. It could be like the wacky fishing, post-apocalyptic, weird game. You know, gather up to a sea monster encounter. Oh, yeah. You have to use like a whale carcass as bait. And you have like a giant ship. You're like trying to fight this sea monster. Let me take again. Well, on the Discord, you shared something or... hold on. Is that what I'm hearing? You put in the tabletop section in ours? I think we'd have to, like, do some cool miniature stuff, too, for sure. Ah, nice. There we go. Cool. Nice old fly box. I'm trying to see, what is it? Perrin. Or Perrine. Is this English? Almost looks like it. Hamilton Anglers Club. 89 to 90 with the certificate. Nice, dude. So is this Hamilton, England, or is this Virginia? You can see the old tins corroding here on it. This is cool, dude. Yeah, some old trout flies. It's a cool old box too. See how it's riveted in these little metal things, and this is where the hook just kind of sits in there. You can pull it out. That's pretty cool. So these are like little streamers and nymphs and stuff. Looks like your dad tied. Very cool. Very nice. Thanks for sharing, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, this is all trout stuff. We have some folks that do trout flies. But a lot of the folks that watch me do saltwater stuff because that's what I specialize in. I'm trying to see. Here we go. This is like this sort of stuff. These smaller trout flies. And do stuff like this, which, here we go. Southern fly guy with some trout fishing. This is my buddy Zeke with a nice... This is the sort of stuff I do. This is straight bass, they call them. That we catch out here in New York. Oh, sorry, here we go. Bamboozled. This is the sort of stuff your dad probably liked doing. Trout fishing. This is out in Arizona, though. Oh, it's from New Zealand. Oh, Hamilton, New Zealand. Oh, yeah, you said New Zealand. Yeah. Very cool. Very nice. Well, thank you for sharing, dude. That was awesome. Let's take a look at what Cosmic did, too. We'll go to the not blurry one. There we go. Hell yeah. Yee. Oh, did you do what I did? Where you just made some bodies? Yeah, let's go. Hell yeah, dude. I did all that and then found out after you could 3D print torsos, but who cares? Oh, these guys got freaking... Are these like custody spears? Those things are cool. I think boats need capacity, pull power, and pull power for stats. Probably more start of idea. Definitely boat capacity or size. Maybe. How about this? Boat size limits where you can fish. Can go safely and haul safely. Doesn't mean you can't go out into the ocean when it's really rough with a 20-foot boat. It just means you may flip it over and die. It's striped bass. No, not straight bass. Oh, God. Most of the time people make stripper jokes. That's the first time I've seen that one. Yeah, fishing's always great. Pans or spears? Okay, gotcha. You just made them out of putty. Nice. Yeah, boat size and pull power for stats. Yeah, there's definitely going to be like I don't even know if we're going to have power. It might be wind or something, but I guess you could always figure that out. I like this stuff. If you guys have any good ideas, put them in the Discord in the tabletop section. Damn, I one thing though, how much? What are you putting on them? What sort of glaze or something you put them on, bro? They are caked up. Sheesh. I love it though. They look good. You just dunked them. You're like, is this your is this bust your like commander or something? This. Oh damn, this is sick. Look at this. Weird War 2, man. Why not? This looks like some Lord of the Rings shit right here. This is cool. Oh, yeah. I remember you got the dragon. Very nice. I love the colors on these, too. These look great. Oh, that's a bust of Morty. Is it? Oh, my God. That's great. I like how you just glooped stuff on there. I love it, dude. It looks great. This all looks good. Fantastic. No wonder why you have so many super glue caps around and all that, you know? Objective markers for the next game. Ah, okay. I thought you were doing some sort of like army with these guys. Oh, they're like gold. I see. I thought maybe you were doing like, this is like some Japanese ghosts or something, or... Which, you know... They totally have, if you think about it, there's totally room and conflict for stuff like, what if they had with the Norwegians, right? And for the Norwegians, they have like Viking-esque mythological beasts, right? Or the Russians get Baba Yaga or something, you know what I mean? Like, and stuff like that. Like, we should, I think there's totally, maybe they don't want to go too crazy, right? But there's totally room where I feel like in your own games, when it comes to conflict, you can do stuff like that. There's totally, I feel like there's no reason why you can't, for like, let's say, unit of Ursus infantry, if you wanted to use some other sort of like Russian folklore or something. Oh, terracotta warriors. That's a very cool idea for robots. Let's say you wanted to do, that's China, right? So you wanted to do like a Chinese army where they use the British rules, and you have terracotta warriors. That would be very cool. That's really cool. You could give them like automatic crossbows, like, or something, you know? Yeah, I don't know what dynasty of China, but those are famous from, but I know is like Ming Dynasty or something. Yeah, I remember you did King Kong and the zombie T-Rex. I don't think Jenny Bratz was here, but we saw the photos that Cosmic posted, and what do you call it? I loved it with the T-Rex and everything. That was awesome. Rift statues. Okay, cool. I forget. There's, because it's been in a bunch of different movies, the terracotta soldiers and all that, where it's like stashed in China. You know what I mean? I forgot what. A bunch of stuff when I was a kid. All right. Well, chat, I gotta say, thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for sharing, by the way, too. Damned Legion of the Flies, Cosmic, the minis, and everyone hanging out. I know. So I'm gonna be honest with you. If I'm totally down. I'm down to help what's it called? Tiki do whatever he wants, and if he wants to trade us some Fallout stuff, cool. We could totally use them for one-page rules and other stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. Maybe one day we'll try this out if we end up getting everything, but this seems like a lot. This really seems... I feel like at this point, like, you might as well just go play Fallout. Like, this is like a lot of stuff you got to keep track of, I feel like. Maybe I'm wrong, but there's like 15 different cards. There's like different books. There's a lot, right? So I do think it's very cool. I just want to look because they have like... I love the look of the game. You know what I mean? And I would love to play like a Fallout game with like the Nuka store and everything like that. But maybe we use it for a different game system or something, you know what I mean? It's easy game to play, then read about. Yeah, that's probably the case for sure. So no matter what though, I will say, I do like the look of the miniatures and all that. So, we'll see. Whatever happens, we may end up taking a look, or worst case, we'll maybe do some sort of like one-page rules Fallout, and we could just still make it cool and about Fallout and everything. But yeah. But you kind of have to layer only as much as you want. Yeah. It seems like a lot. Not gonna lie, it seems like quite a lot to pick up on. You know what I mean? For sure. I'm sure it's cool though, so we'll see. I don't know if we'll end up fully diving into it, but I wanted to take a look at it, and I'm glad I did. That also led us to either tackling the apocalypse or man versus fish. So I'm gonna have to come up with my own name. I'm gonna work on this, and if you guys ever have any ideas, keep them loaded till next week. What do you call it? This is something I do want to do though. I've been meaning to, like, I've had the idea for this for a while, and there's nothing like it. I don't think there's a single tabletop fishing game. And if we could do that and, like, come up with it and make videos on it, and then, like, you know, make videos on the game, and it's something that we develop and play, and, like, we could just release the rules, you know, for free or something until one day, till if we decide to or something, you know, if we want to sell them for, like, $1 or something, I don't know. But either way, this is really cool. I like the idea about it. Yeah, well, now here's the thing. Jenny Brat's like, what's the percentage I need to give you from each penny I get for selling my free copy? Because you came up with the name. It's too good, damn it. I'm going to have to credit you no matter what. So that is a very good name, Tackling the Apocalypse. Closest thing's like a D&D supplement. Yeah. No, I know. That's what I mean. This is very similar to like a solo TTRPG, which it's kind of heading down. But I kind of want to keep it more in like the 5 parsecs from home, where it's less about like, you could make it a TTRPG. You could just play it with an Oracle system if you wanted to. But I kind of want to make it like a game mechanic and a system where it's like, you have like a home base and you get like missions and you go out and you go fishing. And then you could fight and you have to try. It's like almost like an extraction game, you know? There could be like a mode where you just try and survive, but it could also be like a Tarkov type game where you go out, you do your fishing expedition, you go out and you do your charter, your fishing trip. You could take people fishing as well. They could pay you to take you fishing. I'm gonna write that down, charters. But it could be like extraction type, you know, or it could be survival, you know. So I think it's pretty cool. And charters. So, I'm going to think about it, because I'm literally sitting here and doing nothing but tying flies and thinking about that I wish I was fishing right now. So, I'll keep this in the back of my mind. I'll keep this open. I'll keep jotting down ideas, you know what I mean? Or make me a crazy turtle lady. Okay, yeah. You could be you'd have to be a named character, like a hero. For sure. If you stay out long, the game warden might get you. Yeah, there you go. That's what that's a good idea. I like that. Maybe the game warden shows up if you stay out too long. Because you're doing like expeditions. Yeah. Very cool. Oh man, and what we could do is we could do turnip stuff where we make our own little fish out of like modeling clay and stuff, or just there's a ton of different like weird aquatic stuff, you know, in 3D printer land. So I'm sure there's a lot of fun stuff we could do. So, anyways, chat, thank you so much for hanging out. I got to get back to work. I'm happy we got to chit chat and I got to catch up with you folks. I'm gonna try and have this video coming out Wednesday. I have pretty much I have till Monday to finish all of these flies over here. Just let you guys. I've been working hard on these suckers. We got ballyhoo flies to imitate ballyhoo. We got kinky muddlers to imitate sardinas. Okay, we got all sorts of stuff. So I got to get all this crap done because these guys are heading down to Mexico and I got to make as much money as I can in a short amount of time. So I'm going to get back to all this. I'm going to try and work on this video, have it out for Wednesday. It's going to be Japanese versus Axis. We have it recorded. I just need to edit it. But yeah, pretty much soon here, I'm going to be caught up. Like these guys are all going and they're all going to take their trip. I'm going to be done. So we're going to be back to filming regular games next Sunday. So we already have a game recorded. I have to edit it. But after this Sunday, we're going to get back to recording at least hopefully once a week. If not, I can do it solo if Rev's not going to show up. And we're going to get back to regular releases here on the channel. So I have to make a ton of videos for my Fly Tying channel. I haven't put a video out in a month there. But they know what's going on. I'm streaming and tying and whatnot. But I've been slammed. I'm just trying to make as much money as I can for these guys. It always happens where they always end up needing this crap, and I put it off, but they should have ordered it months ago, and I should have known because they order it late every year. So I should have done this in the wintertime. This is my fault. But that's okay. Get the stuff done and get some money and help pay for some, some future wargaming endeavors here on the channel. So... But chat, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. You folks are awesome. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, one more thing. Octopus. Don't worry. There will be octopuses. All right? Don't worry. There will be octopuses. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here on YouTube. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out. Again, thank you so much to Squig Herder Sean for the re-up on the membership and the 5 gifted memberships. Much appreciated. Jenny Bratz, Cosmic, thank you so much for hanging out. We had Damn Legion, thanks again for sharing those flies, brother. Time Guy. I think that we had some other folks. I'm just scrolling up. But thank you so much, chat, for hanging out. Anyone else lurking in the chat, I hope you folks have an awesome night. Have an awesome rest of your weekend. I got to get back to work. I'm going to try and finish these flies. And I'll keep brainstorming on the fishing game, all right? Don't forget. So, Tackling the Apocalypse, credit to Jenny Bratz. All right, chat. Have a great weekend. Have a great night. And we'll see you guys, all right?